Hello everybody and welcome to Culz Book Reviews. Now, either this is the first time you're ever watching or welcome back, because honestly, this is the first one we're ever doing. But in the near future we will do more, as well as the entire series, starting with Meg Origins once it gets here, Meg, the Trench, Primal Waters, Hell's Aquarium, and the Loch. Wait a minute. The Loch? That doesn't sound like a story about a Megalodon. Or does it? Okay, so The Loch still is about the Loch Ness Monster, and still one of my favorite books all time. But Vostok does bring Zachary Wallace from The Loch and Jonas Taylor from the Meg series together. Now, is the whole thing that way? No. But at the end, they do team up to really kind of change the whole story and save the world, in essence. Now, what is the story about? Well, Zachary Wallace, after kind of destroying the Scottish revenue around Loch Ness, he's kind of slipped into a depression. Everything's not quite going well. Everyone kind of sees him as a villain, and he's recruited to go to Lake Vostok, kind of against his wills. But at the same time, he does want to go there, but it's more or less to save his father and the whole city. After he's recruited to Lake Vostok, he gets down into the waters using a Valkyrie laser attached sub, which drills a hole all the way through the ice 13,000 feet, and Zachary Wallace reaches Lake Vostok, which is teeming with Miocene life, including Purussaurus, a giant 50-foot long prehistoric cousin of the caiman, one of the largest crocodilians alongside Deinosuchus and Sarcosuchus, as well as Livyatan, a prehistoric Miocene sperm whale that actually actively hunted and was probably a version similar to a giant killer whale with a lot bigger teeth. There's also giant eels similar to the ones in the Loch, elephant seals, and bear dogs. Now, once he gets there, his main mission turns into finding out what the electromagnetic disturbances are, which leads him to said mountain inside the lake. And there's some great sequences where he's actually climbing the mountain, which I enjoyed very much because I'm a huge fan of mountaineering. I go out hiking all the time, and you'll actually see us start doing some reviews, either books or movies on mountaineering. And he does find out what the cause of it all is, as well as kind of where life started on Earth, how it started, and kind of his meaning of life and where he fits into the whole circle. Now it gets kind of complicated for some. I enjoyed it, as there's interdimensional jumps, and I started thinking a lot about Domain because there are extraterrestrials in here. So I did get some kind of vibes from his Steve Alten's other series, Domain. Now, is it a good book? Yes, I would recommend it. I rated it anywhere from a 7.5, 7.9 throughout the book. It's a good read, especially if you're a fan of the Meg and or a fan of Loch. It's definitely worth the read, and if you love science fiction, prehistoric life, mountaineering, I would recommend it. It's a good book. Do you like interdimensional beings? Do you like aliens? Read it. It's a good science fiction novel. I rate it 7.5 to 7.9, anywhere in that range. Pick it up, read it. Let us know what you think, and please join us next time on Culz Does Book Reviews.